San Francisco, beauty at the edge of the continent, where the future is already here. As a child, I only knew it as the level I didn't like in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and later on as the home of the Zodiac Killer. It's known as the cradle of tech startups and progressive governance, but it should also be known for playing a key role in the development of the modern specialty coffee industry. Last fall, I finally had the chance to visit the city and explore the streets that helped give birth to so much of what I love: specialty coffee and modern technology. My cover story was attending San Francisco Coffee Festival, but really, I was there to see a literal dream of mine come true: the introduction of a true, mass market ready, high-grade coffee brewer that normies will crave. The San Francisco Bay Area has touched so many parts of the coffee industry today. A major importing hub home to the birthplace of the term specialty coffee, Folgers, and Peet's, the region is currently home to world-renowned, trailblazing roasters like Equator, Ritual, Sightglass, and of course Blue Bottle. Most associate intelligentsia with Chicago and Los Angeles, but it owes its start to San Francisco as well, given Doug Zell founded it to fill his coffee shop void after a move away from the city. South of the city, in Palo Alto, is the birthplace of the region's most famous coffee invention, the AeroPress, Alan Adler's dirt-cheap, borderline indestructible brew tube capable of incredible cups with minimal fuss. Across the bay in Oakland, Sweet Maria's and Royal Coffee are two of specialty coffee's most famed importers. The region's legacy and culture of innovation is continuing today in the workshops of Fellow Products in the Mission. The team at Fellow flew me out, along with a few others, for a first look at what is now the Fellow Aiden Precision Coffee Maker. So, knowing that this is fulfilling a deeply held desire of mine, that I have a great deal of ideological alignment with their team and brand, and that the team wined and dined me, please understand that I'm absolutely rooting for the Aiden brewer to be a success. So I'd like to focus not on the nerdy product specifics, but how Aiden is helping solve a larger problem, which is getting delicious black coffee into the homes of all, the magic fueling work and inspiration across all industries. For years, there has been a large gap in capabilities of home versus commercial equipment. The best cups available to most people were those brewed in a coffee shop using professional-grade equipment. Precision machinery for brewing top-tier drip coffee in shops is where most of the technological progress has been made, not at home. Brewers like the Clover, Bun Trifecta, Alpha Da Vinci Steampunk, Pour Steady, Marco SP9, Mod Bar, Curtis Seraphim, and Ground Control have all helped push quality, both real and perceived by customers, higher than the capabilities in the average home user's kit. The last serious challenge to the claim that these machines aren't yet good enough to replace manual pour-overs was back in 2014, over 10 years ago, when the man responsible for introducing the Kalita Wave to the United States, Mr. Nick Cho, did a head-to-head battle against the Alpha Da Vinci Steampunk. So it did feel fitting that while in San Francisco's Cow Hollow neighborhood, I did visit Mr. Cho's famed coffee bar, founded with his former partner, Trish Rothkub, who just so happens to be credited with the introduction of the term third wave coffee. So at least a decade ago, by the cup brewing with high-quality results was already in full swing. Over time, automated home brewing equipment has improved. Brewers brought to the market, even in the last 6 years, have been capable of brewing delicious drip coffee without human intervention, but have had too many asterisks for me to comfortably recommend to the average normie. But sure, this gap has seemingly shrunk at any number of points in the past. I even advocated a solution for this back in late 2020. So what's different this time? It's the true, hands-off nature for all volumes of desired brew, from single cups to full pots, not just an optimized dose and batch size in a narrow sweet spot. A $30 AeroPress is theoretically capable of producing coffee as delicious as by any machine, but your upfront cost savings are an illusion. you still need to boil water, wait, and pour. With other existing drip coffee makers on the market, getting best results in your cup requires you to find the narrow sweet spot of a specific dose and batch size. With Aiden, you're skipping all of the things normies don't want to do. You should not be forced to learn about craft and water pouring patterns to make a delicious cup. There's simply no reason that a quarter way through the 21st century that you can't have a machine do this for you, regardless of if you want a single cup or a whole pot of brewed coffee. With this brewer, we're finally at the point where I can comfortably argue for a product to make it to the counter of your parents, grandparents, and friends, regardless of the required brew size and roast level that they like to drink. The cups you can get from Aiden match or best any coffee maker I've used before. The $365 entry cost to the brewer is roughly the same price as its contemporaries, but it has a much wider sweet spot and therefore much better odds of getting a solid cup for a user at home. If you add on the cost of a solid grinder like the Ode and a scale, for around $800, the point of diminishing returns has definitely been reached. If brewed filter coffee is your god, this is your opportunity to opt out of the coffee shop tax. I can't argue with a straight face that this is far enough removed from, say, an EK43 and Fetco combination that I can advocate for you to keep taking the time, effort, and cost to go to a coffee shop to pay for someone to pull a lever over a cup, then deal with the dance of do you tip on the screen for as close to no labor as it comes. We will always capture the craft audience. What we need to do now is grow the pie of specialty and bring more normie dollars into the mix. I firmly believe that the path forward truly starts with Aiden, as it solves real problems of quality and convenience across all consumer groups, from abused Keurigs, drip traditionalists, and pour-over nerds. Aiden is the solution for anyone looking to save time without any compromises in cup quality. It deserves to replace every coffee maker currently sold for the home, and it will likely make it into some smaller cafes as well. So what is holding up the black coffee revolution? Perception and behavioral change are our two largest barriers. To illustrate this, let's look outside of coffee to consumer electronics. Aiden isn't the only gorgeous technology solution to emerge from a design-forward Bay Area company this year. Enter the Apple Vision Pro. I've used mine near daily since getting it on launch weekend in February. It is my current daily driver computer for any sit-down screen activities. The Vision Pro clears the bar of the illusion that sheets of software are magically in my room, as stable as physical objects, and as sharp and as clear as your phone screen. I can wax poetic about how the magic of augmented or mixed reality can change your life, but there is a fundamental issue for broad acceptance: the face strap conundrum. But you may say, Meta proudly talks about their headsets, the Quest line, selling millions of devices. That's nice. Remember netbooks? Asus sold millions of theirs, called the EPC. The netbook category as a whole was growing, just as we've seen lower-end, older technology copies of the basic Mocha Master or Mr. Coffee designs. Once the price of components falls far enough, copycats always emerge. So what happened to the EPC and the category of netbooks? They were leapfrogged by the physical manifestation of what people actually wanted: a thin, sleek, lightweight laptop. The MacBook Air, the first mainstream laptop without physical disk drives with enough performance to run a full operating system. A reporter once asked Steve Jobs about the cost of their computers versus the competition. He responded by explaining that by the time you'd add in enough components to get to the quality the consumer actually would want to use, that the competition would be just as expensive. To paraphrase him, Apple doesn't ship junk. Netbooks were lost to the dustbin of history, with Chromebooks in a sense being a spiritual successor, but not what netbooks were originally intended to do. The MacBook Air went on to become the category-defining product for a generation of laptops that endures to this day, prizing the mixture of high performance, design, and portability. The Apple Vision Pro accomplishes what is teased by the Quest line. Meta's marketing material pitches their current headset as a step into mixed reality, as if, here's a sample, but it's not yet good enough to replace your other computers like your phone and laptop. So in the case of headset computers and coffee brewers, I'm not convinced that cost is the true barrier. It's the behavioral changes. There have been valiant efforts in the past few years to bridge the gap from nerds to normies. Products like the frozen concentrate K-Cups from Cometeer, single cup pods filled with whole beans to be ground, and countless attempts at specialty instant coffee have all been recent-ish bets on bringing more normies into the fold. But I remain highly skeptical of all three concepts. Let's start with the frozen coffee pods in your freezer. Can't wait to train Grandma to rummage near the taquitos and push pops for her morning drip. I like the meet-you-in-the-middle approach of the whole bean-filled pods from X-Bloom, as it's a nice way to cut out the need for a scale for dosing, but to me it still feels more akin to making top ramen in preparing the dose than I feel comfortable talking a normal person through. Various instant concepts have come and gone over the years, and I don't think they've ever tasted particularly good outside of just needing caffeine in a pinch. If your headset isn't as sharp or clear as your phone, why would you strap a grainy screen to your face to use outside of some silly VR video games that the like of Meta loves to pump? You could cobble together a pour-over setup nearing the cost of Aiden, but it requires more of your time and effort. Or you could just get the solution that achieves what you're looking for and buy the device that solves all of the problems. So with Aiden, you skip this problem entirely. The machine is as good, if not better, than hand-brewed cups, and there's a hell of a lot less fuss. All you need to do is pour in your coffee and press a button. All other behavioral friction has been removed. We will always capture the ones in the know. The ones that want to do pour-over and embrace craft, or the people that aren't afraid to strap a first-generation head computer to their face. But to normal people, the people we need to bring into specialty coffee, they're put off by barriers like that. So let's break them down for them.